Hello and welcome to day 14 of the Creating Real Magic Daily Mentoring Lesson. So 2 weeks into the new year, 2 weeks into the new decade, and 2 weeks into our daily mentoring lesson. So I hope we're cracking on. I hope things are starting to unfold for you. There's so much going on this end, I don't know even where to begin, so we'll leave that for another day. I'll leave that for a live. The next live maybe we'll do. I'll bring you up to date on what's going on. But today we're going to be focused on turning professional, turning pro, and it's inspired by the book of the same title, Turning Pro, by Steven Pressfield. Now, Steven Pressfield, you may know or you may not. He's a fantastic author. 2 best-selling books that I've read that I can reference now for you. The War of Art and Turning Pro. So if you're going to study these, if you're going to read these, read The War of Art first and then read Turning Pro second, because it kind of follows on from the first one. But if you haven't come across those books, you may have come across a book or a movie called The Legend of Bagger Vance, starring Matt Damon and Will Smith. Now, that was written and penned by Steven Pressfield and was a fantastic movie, a real one of those kind of sleeper movies that people don't often see or people watch and forget. But I thought it was a fantastic film. It's kind of like it's a reinterpretation of the Bhagavad Gita. So you got that Bhagavad Gita, the Song of God, the Breath of God, or whatever. I can't think the exact. It's the Hindu book, religious book. But the Legend of Bagger Vance, Pressfield actually brought it up to date, interpreted it in a slightly different way. So instead of being set on the battlefield as the Bhagavad Gita is, it's set on a golf course, and Will Smith plays the part of the mysterious guide who guides the protagonist through the battle that he has to face the very next day. It's a very, very, very good film, and one that you should probably try and check out at some point. But anyway, I digress. So let's crack on with Turning Pro. So the basic premise is to move from what Pressfield calls an amateur, so sort of dabbling at what you do, to a professional, taking on a full-time role in your vision, in your dream, in your business, in your health, in your family life, in your relationships, and so on and so forth. And here's the distinction. Not everyone in this group, not all of you are going to want to be entrepreneurs. Not all of you are going to want to run your own business. But we can all be pro at something. We can all up our game, so to speak. And it's very, very important that we understand this. That if you want to succeed at anything in your life, it's not something that you just play at. You know, having a hobby is great, but you never become world class at it. And if you don't want to be world class at something, then for me, I'm sorry to say, you're going against your natural programming, because consciousness is all for expansion and fuller expression, and that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to evolve and expand and express itself to and through us, and we help it do that by subscribing to and becoming pro at something, and then we can show our gifts to the world and experience that heightened level of success, that heightened level of attraction, that heightened level of feeling, that heightened level of love, that heightened level of acceptance, and so on and so forth. So it's very, very important that we understand that we should be pro at something. What that something is really depends upon you and what you feel you should be professional at. So you want to start with what you feel compelled to do, your calling, and you need to be very, very careful here. Pressfield talks about this thing called your shadow calling, and what he's talking about is that we're very, very good at being busy for busy's sake. And we've alluded to this in previous lessons, that we mix up being busy with accomplishment, with achievement. And so just because we're busy and we've got things to do and we're buzzing around being busy, we're not really accomplishing or achieving what we want to do. We're just filling our diary with meeting after meeting, etc., etc. You know the drill. We've all been there. So you have to identify whether you're getting involved in your true calling. And that, again, is going to be very personal to each and every one of you. Some may want greater health. Some may want to build a health business. Some may want to have better relationships. Some might be building a relational business. Just FYI, all businesses are relational. Maybe for another day. So are you playing on the periphery, or are you turning pro and getting involved in what you do, really living and embodying that which you say you want? One of the big reasons that we play on the periphery, I think, is because we're covered with layer upon layer of negativity, of a non-serving belief system, of self-doubt, self-worry, concern with what others may say and what may think about us. I have this experience myself when I wanted to be a footballer. By announcing to my family that I wanted to be a footballer, they had some difficulty believing that I should be, because everyone in the family took a trade. They were plumbers, electricians, bricklayers, London cab drivers. They weren't professional athletes, and I was called a waste of space, a waster, all sorts of derogatory names, because I just wanted to play football. I wanted to follow a dream. Fortunately, even at that age, I didn't care what people said about me, so I was able to go on and fulfill that dream. But that's a story for another time. Understand, though, that as you can see, that wasn't without its pain. To be called a waste of space by people very close to you is quite painful. And turning pro is painful. Joseph Campbell, in his hero's journey, talks about a step called resurrection, where you're reborn as this new version of yourself, as this higher self, as this more powerful, more professional person. But think about that for a moment. What happens before a resurrection? A crucifixion. So you have to die. Certain elements of you have to die. Certain beliefs have to die. Certain people that you hang around with, those relationships, have to die. And this can be quite painful. It was Nietzsche who said that the snake that cannot shed its skin perishes. And that's so very, very true. You have to shed layers of old beliefs, old stories, old paradigms, old people, old circumstances, old environments, in order to glide and step into this new version of yourself, this professional version of yourself. So I'm interested, who here, following on from yesterday's lesson where we spoke about 100% responsibility for every area of your life, and so many of you commented on that and sent me messages. How many of you are now prepared to put your money where your mouth is and step into that professional arena? How many are going to comment below with the word pro? Let's see who's prepared to do it as we move forward into this new decade. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you're getting real value out of the lessons, and I'll be back tomorrow with yet another daily mentoring lesson. Bye for now.